Hey guys, it's Kay and welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! I hope you guys had a wonderful time ringing in 2026. Well, another year flew by amazingly fast. I can't believe 2025 is already over. It was an amazing year for me and a lot of positive things happened. But before I talk about my most productive year, you're probably wondering why I haven't posted anything lately again. I really hate to keep bringing this up, but as you may have noticed, it's been a while since I posted a proper video, one that wasn't just a speedpaint with background music. Again, the reason was my time management and motivation to create videos. In March 2025, I started my diploma in game art and 3D animation. My diploma involves several projects that I had to complete within a 3-month time span. Learning a new program, adapting to new workflows, and doing a whole bunch of other stuff that takes time, like writing a full documentation for my project, requires a lot of energy. Also, trying to do something for my health, like bouldering at least twice a week, can be a real hassle when you're busy. My latest project involves sculpting a creature in ZBrush and doing the entire workflow. This includes high poly sculpting in ZBrush, retopology and UV cutting in Autodesk Maya, baking in Marmoset and Adobe Substance Painter, texturing and rendering in Marmoset. I decided to sculpt the monster Rot Eater from the indie game Kena Bridge of Spirits. I also posted the final results of my project on Instagram and Blue Sky account. So if you're curious, check out my page, the link is down in the description. I really liked the sculpting project and enjoyed the whole process. However, I really underestimated the workload of the whole process and the project wore me out completely. My energy level was near zero and I didn't have any motivation to do anything creative outside of my sculpting class. So yeah, it happened that I didn't draw for a month and a half, and that meant I didn't have the opportunity to create any content for this channel or Instagram. I actually had the resources to produce 2 videos that I still have as backups, but I had neither the time nor the motivation to produce them. Hopefully I will finish those soon after this video. Besides my laziness regarding creative work, a lot happened in my private life during the last 2 to 3 months. Nothing dramatic happened, so no need to worry. The last few months gave me a lot of time to think, and I realized that my perspective on my own art and art in general has changed. Firstly, I realized that I don't really have an art style, nor do I have much knowledge about how to render in traditional or digital mediums. I also realized that my line weight is, well, bad. I went into an artist identity crisis and felt that my art was boring and nothing special. This identity crisis stuck with me for a while, and I wasn't motivated to do anything creative. I thought a lot about it and what I could change to improve my art so that I'm actually satisfied with it. And even though I didn't draw anything for a month and a half, and taking that break was the best decision I've ever made. My mind finally rested. I reflected on my art as well as art from other artists, analyzing what I could learn from them. I learned to be more thoughtful while creating art. I now understand what I should be focusing on while drawing, how to plan a drawing, and that I should take my time. I came to realization that I should enjoy creating art and that it's okay to take your time. I also decided to start simplifying steps to improve little by little. I also noticed that I don't have a consistent coloring technique with either traditional or digital art. The reason is that I never really learned it. I was too impatient, lazy, or annoyed to follow tutorials, look for references, and take my time learning coloring and shading. However, during my crisis, I scrolled through my Instagram page and looked at my art, and well, all the colored artworks looked awful to me. They looked very chaotic, and composition was boring and repetitive. So, this was the moment where I finally started my journey to find my preferred art style in general. I'm learning to be more careful with line weight while working, and I found that I really like doing simple cel shading with highlights, like I did with this Detective Conan fanart. I also like the technique of starting with a grayscale layer, a shadow layer, and a highlight layer before I start coloring digitally. For traditional art, I may have also found a technique that suits me, but I discovered that I'm more into digital art because you have basically endless possibilities, and I'm also way faster and more flexible with digital art compared to traditional. Secondly, I thought a lot about what I want to achieve with my Instagram and YouTube accounts. I thought about how to reach a wider audience and introduce myself to new people. I decided on something that I will discuss later on in this video. So yeah, that was on my mind. Overall, I can say the break did me good and I'm really happy with how my art journey is going right now. It makes me really sad that 2025 is over now, because it was an amazing year for me. At the beginning of the year, I quit my 9 to 5 job and started my diploma in game art and 3D animation, which was still the best choice of my entire life. I found a place where I'm accepted as myself and a career path that suits me better than my last job. During my diploma, I learned a lot about myself, made new friends, and learned a lot about game art and art in general. Even though it's stressful with all the projects that are going on, I'm really happy about my decision. Since starting my diploma, I've also achieved huge progress in my art journey. I learned many things which I will use on my further projects. I developed a more artistic eye and I analyzed things more deeply compared to the beginning of the year. I'm more aware of my surroundings, color theory, game art, composition, and most importantly, light and shadow. I also gained better line confidence during my diploma. During my diploma, I had a great opportunity to learn a lot of different things for which I'm really grateful. Besides the diploma, I achieved a lot in my private life, which I won't go into too much detail. One thing I achieved was getting way stronger and more experienced in bouldering. At the beginning of the year, I wasn't nearly as fit as I am now. I can now lift up to 10 kilogram weights, do 3 to 4 pull ups, and boulder consistently on 6B and 6B plus routes. And I think I might soon be able to climb a 6C. Another thing I'm really happy about is that I finally got my first tattoos. I'm a person who is afraid of needles, so convincing myself to make an appointment was hard. I've been thinking about getting a tattoo for over a year, but I didn't have the courage nor was I satisfied with my first idea. After I began watching One Piece for the first time and got near the end of the Wano Kuni arc, I finally knew what kind of tattoo I wanted. I decided to tattoo the Jolly Rogers of the Straw Hats and the Hard Pirates because those are my two favorite pirate crews. And yeah, getting the tattoo was quite painful and the healing process was horrible, but I'm happy with the results. Lastly, and this is my personal favorite fact from 2025, is that I got diagnosed with autism. This was the most unexpected thing to happen to me, but it is also the best. So hear me out. I always felt different from other people, and I always had the thought that something was wrong with me, but I didn't know what exactly. During my diploma, I met a lot of people who are neurodivergent. Some of my friends have ADHD, autism, or both, or have family members who are neurodivergent. Long story short, while talking with my friends, someone mentioned that I showed signs of autism, and that gave me the push to read more about it, and I fell into a never ending rabbit hole. Like, reading and watching a lot of stuff about autism made me realize quickly, oh damn, I think I may be autistic, but in a good way. After that realization, I made an appointment with a psychologist who is certified and specialized in ADHD as well as autism. After filling out and sending in two 10-page questionnaires, as well as doing a 2.5 hour interview with 3 tests, and after 2 weeks of evaluation, I got my diagnosis. I was diagnosed with a light version of Asperger syndrome. Since I received my diagnosis, my whole life makes so much more sense. I finally started to feel comfortable as the person I truly am, and I've started working to accept the way I am. I finally understand who I really am, what I truly like and dislike, and why most situations are so overwhelming for me. Since my diagnosis, I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'm curious about what I will find out next about my true self. So, yeah, the autism diagnosis was the top tier moment of the year. Since 2025 was such an amazing and productive year, you might wonder what I've planned for 2026. I started thinking about New Year's resolution and what I want to achieve. Currently, I'm still a uni student and I will hopefully get my diploma degree at the beginning of September. At the moment, my plan is to become a freelancer after my diploma and maybe run a small business. My focus will be on 2D digital art, concept art, and sculpting in ZBrush, which will also include the whole process up to a final render shots for game-ready assets. So this is my plan for now. I always dreamed of running my own business as well as doing something art-related for my career. Since I have already worked in a company, I don't really have the intention to work in one again. I think I might like to be my own boss and handle everything myself, even if it includes doing taxes. However, since I want to have a small business one day, I must do something to achieve that. And the first thing is to reach a wider audience. I started my YouTube channel almost 2 years ago, and well, I've been lacking on posting videos frequently, and I didn't really have great topics or video ideas. Also, I experimented a lot with my videos, which looked unprofessional to me. I did a lot of setup changes, adjusted many things, tried out a whole bunch of stuff, and so on. But I think it never worked out for me, and I also felt that my videos were lacking something, though I wasn't sure what. I was really unsure who I should be on camera, what I really should post, and everything in between. I think I finally found out who and how I want to be on YouTube and what my style is. Firstly, the main focus is and should always be art. I want to create videos that are art related, like art vlogs, experimenting with new drawing techniques, improving my art, doing challenges, and maybe advice videos, tutorials, or speed paints. Since I've settled on what content I want to create, this settles the first point on my bucket list, and it is posting at least once per month on YouTube with a length between 10 to 20 minutes. Ideal solution would be to post every 2 weeks. Since I don't know what I can expect from the rest of my diploma course and how much time I really have, I want to at least post one video every month. The ideal solution would be to post every 2 weeks, but as I said, I don't know how much time I really have. The next point on my list is starting/doing more shorts on social media. So shorts are the thing in the 21st century. To grow my social media platforms, posting more shorts will probably be a good way to start getting a large audience. I also plan on posting at least once per month and ideally every 2 weeks. Also, since I want to be a freelancer and have a small business, I also want to create my own website this year. I haven't decided yet when I will do that, but I want to at least have it published by the end of the year. Having your own website is kind of essential if you want to be a freelancer in art, so that's one big thing that's on my list. And the last point on my bucket list is starting my own manga. This might be the most random resolution I have, but ever since I read my first manga, I got more and more attached to the medium. I always dreamed of creating my own. In December 25, I finally made the first move and did a whole reference sheet about what my story should contain, character sheets with their personalities, and references for how they should look. I also started doing the first concepts, but I'm not very far with that yet. So yeah, I will try at least get the important stuff done, but right now I feel like I can finally do it. So yeah, those are my New Year's resolution for the year 2026. It is quite a lot and maybe tough, but I'm eager to hopefully achieve some of it. So yeah, that was today's video. It was quite a lot. If you're still watching, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope I wasn't too boring or anything like that. Tell me in the comments what you think, as well as your New Year's resolution for 2026. I'm very curious to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you liked it and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!